Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, to the channel IT Simplified. Hope you're having a good time with your family and friends and liking this session. In today's video on Azure, I'm here to talk about Docker Hub, how you can create an account in that, what are private and public images, and today we'll also see how we can push images to our Docker Hub repository so that in case somebody has to access that, they will be able to do. So basically, we'll make some changes on the image in our container, and we'll push that image in Docker Hub repository, and we'll how people can access those images. So by now you must have so far learned a lot about Docker in our previous videos. So we know about how Docker works, what is the containerization technology, how to deploy this on Azure, what are the different commands. So you should have a better understanding. So by today, we'll also have better understanding of Docker Hub, different type of images, and how to push that in Docker repository. So let's get started. The first thing you need to push images to the Docker is you need to have a Docker account, for which you can go to hub.docker.com, and you can create your own Docker ID. It has to be unique. You need to provide an email address and a password. Whatever email address you provide, a confirmation email will be sent to this email address, and you need to verify that. And once that is verified, your account will be up and running. Now, I've already gone through this process, and if I can show you, my Docker Hub account is up and running. It is with the ID Girish Rocks 505. And if I go under the repository, you can see that I don't have any repository over here, right? So we'll be pushing or creating some images from where people can pull those images. That's the idea about. But creating a Docker Hub account is absolutely free. There is no cost. And actually, there are a couple of tiers. You can go with a free account, which should be enough for this. There's a basic, and then there's an enterprise. There are limitations, obviously, in all of them, but a free account will do the job for us. And these are the, if you remember in our previous video, this is a place we used to come and download the images. So you can see that I have Ubuntu image, I have CentOS. So there are a lot of public images that you can pull from here, right? But we will create our own image, and we'll see what are the steps involved. So after your Docker Hub account is created, you can log into this. And with that logged in, let me go back to my machine. And again, it is running on my Azure portal on a CentOS image. So I'm already logged in with the putty, and the commands now to check which version I'm running, to see if the Docker engine is running or not. It should be in running state. If it is not, you can always start this. So let me just clear the screen from here. Now let's go back and pull an image from Docker Hub and simultaneously create a container. And you know the command by now. So it's docker run it. I will name this container 2, say container 1. And the image that I want to pull or create this container from is Ubuntu and bin bash. So right now I don't have any image or any container. So you can see I'm able to find the image locally. So it is pulling that from Docker Hub, right? So it's downloaded the near image of Docker, and you can see that I'm inside the Docker now. Because once that image is created, it automatically attaches us to that container. So container 1 was created. If I go and ls, you'll see that these are all the binaries are there. So let's do some certain changes. For that, I'll use the command, and let's create a couple of files here. If I do ls, you can see that I have file 1, file 2, file 3. Let's do also some changes on the temp directory. I'll add file 4 and file 5 here. I go here now, you can see that file 4, file 5 is also there. So the idea is here, whatever changes you want to make in your image, whatever software you want to download, you can create that image, and then you can push that to the Docker Hub in your repository. And then if somebody wants to access this, you can either make it public or you can make it private, and actually we'll see that how it is done so that they don't have to go through that whole drill. So this was already done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out of this. So I'll come out of the container, and actually let me show you the container that was made. So you can see the container was made is C1, and right now we only have one image, which should be Ubuntu. So that's the image that I have. It's an Ubuntu image right over here, right? Let me just clear the screen. And what we want to do is now we have made changes to this container image. So we want to save this image. So what we want to do, the command that we want to use is docker commit, and no name of our container is container1. And what I want to name this image, I want to name this image ITS, short form for IT simplified, and let's hit enter. So you can see that the image was created. Now, if I go and type in Docker images, you will see that I have two images now. We have one Ubuntu, which was our base image, and we have now ITS to whatever changes we have made. And that is what we'll use to push that to our Docker hub. Now, in order to do that, what we need is we need to log in into our Docker account. So we can go type Docker login, right? And it says login succeeded. I think I was already doing this, but if you're doing this for the first time, it will ask you for the username and the password. And the username and the password will be your Docker ID, the one that you created, and your password, whatever you created. So because I'm already logged in, it's saying that login was successful. It didn't ask me for my Docker ID and my password. But if you're doing this for the first time, it will ask you. So after you have provided this, what you're going to do is you're going to tag the image. So the image that I want to use is ITS, the one that we just created. And then you need to provide your Docker ID. In my case, it's Girish Rocks 505. And what name I want to give this image, which I want to push to Docker Hub. I'll name this ITS image. This is for my company, IT Simplified Image, and you hit enter. So you can see that that was done. And now we'll use the Docker push command to push this to our Docker Hub. So it will be Docker push with the Docker ID, which is again Girish Rocks 505. And what is the name of the image? It is ITS image, and let's hit enter. So you can see that it's pushing. Okay, so it seems that it was successfully pushed. So I'm just going to clear the screen and let me go to my Docker Hub now. I'm already logged in, as you can see, in the repository. I'm just going to refresh this, and here you see that the image was pushed successfully. Right now there is 0 download, so nobody has downloaded, and it's public. So public means that anybody can come, and if they want, they can download. So in case you want to share this with any person, maybe in your company, you can say that, okay, you can go ahead and you can download this, right? If I go inside this, I have a couple of more options. So right now it's in public state. If I go and click on settings, you can see that I can make this private too. So when you make it private, nobody can just come and access this or download or pull this image to be specific. They need to use the Docker ID and the password, which you can provide them. So that is the difference between public and private, that if you want to limit who can access those images, you can just click on make private, and then in that way, you with whoever you have shared your Docker ID and password, though those people only will be able to access this image. But the idea here is that this way in Docker Hub you can create the account, you can push the images, and then this image can be used by anybody, maybe in your organization, or maybe if you want to make it public, you can do that too. Now, just coming to the account, as I said, that there are different tiers. You have free, you have basic, and you have enterprise. There are some limitation, obviously. So if I make this private, and if I want to create another image, if I want to make it private, I won't be able to do, because there is a limitation of only one image. You might need to upgrade this to a basic or to an enterprise level in order to have those additional features. But this gives you an idea about how to create Docker Hub, how to push the images, whatever changes that you have made, and how you can share this one. So if you want, I can just click on make private. It is asking me to provide the name. So it is ITS image. I just need to get the confirmation and make private. So with this, now this image is private. Now, if I go back to my repository, you can see that not anybody can just come and access this image. If anybody wants to access this, you need to provide them the Docker ID and the password. And if I go inside this, you can see that the tags are here. If anybody wants to pull this, you can use this command, very similar to the way we used to use for CentOS or for Ubuntu, those images. But this command is right over here in case somebody wants to come and pull this image. So with this, you now have a better understanding of Docker Hub, how to create your public and private images. Hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.